Hey everyone, Ashley here, and welcome to today's video. But before I actually begin, I just want to say thank you so much for all of you who have followed and subscribed to my channel here. Thank you for getting my channel up to 2,000 subscribers. That is so exciting, and I am so grateful that you are all here. So I just wanted to say that. I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you. And also, just so you know that my schedule is kind of like all over the place. So I know sometimes my videos aren't always on like the same day every week. So that being said, if you would like to hit the little notification bell so that way you know when my videos do post. Okay, so that being all said, I'm excited to share this video with you all because I kind of wanted to go back to the beginning of like what my very first deck was and just kind of talk about that a little bit and like why I got it way back when and just kind of talk about that a little bit because truth be told, I haven't used the very first deck I've ever gotten in a long time or even that much at all, because when I first got it, I wasn't really into tarot and oracle yet, and I mainly only got it because it's a fandom deck. So but now that I'm like learning tarot and incorporating that into my personal growth journey and as well as oracle cards, I wanted to get it back out, especially since my favorite deck, which is my home deck, the one I always come back to a lot, is Tarot of Vampires. And it's because I absolutely love vampire lore and mythology. And it's funny because when I look back on it, like a lot of the stories and books I've read and movies I've watched, like I really do love that fantasy, and like just that vampire, like anything vampire I love. Like there's a lot of series I love, books and TV show wise, that have to do with vampires. And so I just love them. And that's where this comes into play. My very first deck that I ever bought or received ever. And it has to do with this series written by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. It is the House of Night series. This is the second book. I'm currently rereading this series. I typically do read it in the fall, which it's almost fall time. It's like, you know, I mean, it's the end of summer, September's coming, but I usually do read this. Typically I start in October, but I usually reread it like every year. It is one of my all-time favorite series. I started reading it like when I was a freshman in college, or maybe right after I graduated high school, somewhere around there. And I've loved it ever since. The characters are just funny, they're relatable, there's a lot of growth happening where like, it's not like they fall and they make mistakes, but then they always pick themselves back up and they're like, okay, well, I've made this mistake, I'm sorry, but let's just move on and let's grow. And so I really love that about the characters in this series. And it's about a vampire finishing school. So you could be marked at any time. And the main character in the story, she was in high school, she got marked. And when you get marked, you actually get a crescent outline, like a crescent outline, or how do I want to say it? A crescent tattoo outline on your forehead when you get marked. And then you have to go to the House of Night school or else you're just not going to make it. And you still might not make it because when you go to the school, you have 4 years. So you start as a third former, and then it's like, and that's like freshman. And then you have your sophomore, junior, and senior. Throughout those 4 years, your body's changing, you're turning into the vampire. And during any of that time though, you're called a fledgling and you're not necessarily going to become a full vampire. You could actually, your body could reject the change and you could die. So during that whole 4 years, it's like a scary time for these kids. But it's a really unique story. The main character is like an underdog, but then she comes out on top and she's blessed by the goddess that they worship, the goddess of night. They worship Nyx, I think is how you say it, Nyx. Do not know if I'm pronouncing it right. But anyways, this whole series, it's like a 20-some book series. And it's just awesome. So again, I reread this like every year, but when I saw this deck come out, again, I wasn't into oracle or tarot yet, but I saw this come out and it was Wisdom of the House of Night. It's an oracle deck. It's actually done by PC Cast and Colette Baron Reed. So it's published by Hay House. I do believe, no, it's Potter style. So it's not Hay House, but Colette Baron-Reid was the one who worked with PC Cast on it. And there's 50 cards, 128-page guidebook. But yeah, this came out in 2012. And I have like everything that goes with this series. Like anything that comes out for this series, I get it. I have the novellas that have come out in it. I have the graphic novels and the fledgling handbook. Like there's actually a fledgling guidebook 101 just for like a little fandom fun thing, and I have it too. And so when this came out, I was like, okay, why not? But now that I'm actually working with tarot and oracle, I'm like, I really need to give this deck a shot. Like I really want to use it. So I'm pulling her out, and I'm going to actually use this, I do believe, along with Tarot of Vampires. And here's what the back looks like. They are glossy, so sorry that there's going to be a little bit of a reflection, but they also have this silver gilding. And I'm actually looking at it. There's like plenty of space around the tops, like around these borders, that I may actually trim it sometime, because I don't really like the corners like this either. So I may like round them and then edge it myself, because I love modding decks and making them my own. And this is kind of hard to shuffle. I remember that when I first got it out, that it's kind of like, I don't know, again, it's the sharp corners for me, but also the gilding. Sometimes with these gilding, like the gilded edges, they stick together. And it also doesn't help that these are super glossy cards. They kind of stick, but it's definitely because of the gilding. So I may actually end up trimming that off and rounding the corners and maybe edging it in just like a black. But anyways, here it is. I'm just going to show you guys some of the images and stuff. I actually really do like this deck though. Like I said before, I never really used it that much, but I like the imagery. I like that there's simple words, like there's just a simple keyword. High Priestess of Fire. Like I like how it has the elements represented, because the elements are in the series as well, strongly. The main character has an affinity for all 5 of the elements. Invisible, I really like that too. Like look at that, like how beautiful is that? It's invisible, and she's like looking into this mirror that's on the ground, but yet she feels that she's invisible, like she's not truly seeing herself. That's really awesome. I really like that card. It's really fun going through these. Since I've had these for so long, it's really cool going through them now that I have more like knowledge, or I'm kind of like, you know, since I'm working with tarot and different oracle decks, it's cool to come back to this and be like, wow, this could actually really be beneficial and helpful in my journey as well. Success, the moon, I love that. I also love in the series, they have a lot of cats, and cats and vampires kind of go hand in hand. And in the series, you don't pick your own cat. You don't get to pick your own, like go out and, you know, like what we do and just get a cat and say, ooh, I want that one. The cat chooses you. So they like get a sense and feel for your personality. And if they come up to you and start loving on you and everything, then they choose you, and they roam free and they just come up to you. And so I think that's cool too. Lust, chaos, don't forget. I'm like really excited to have this back out. It's been a while since I've even flipped through this, and just seeing the images now, I'm like, yeah, I think this one, again, I'm happy to have it out. I'm happy to have it a part of my collection, and to see the characters. And like, since I'm rereading the series too, I was like, what better way to like pull this out while I'm reading the series, while I'm using Tarot of Vampires as well, and use them both together. Trapped. I really like that. Strength. I really love that the strength is the tree. That's a really awesome representation. Cycles. Belonging. I also like too how like a lot of the cards in here, like the keywords are like, they don't necessarily have anything to do with the series. I mean, I get it because I've read the series, but if you haven't, you could still use this deck because there's good messages with each of these cards. So again, even if you're not familiar with the series, like on some of these, like this one's Vision and it says Aphrodite. So like to me, that has meaning because there is a character named Aphrodite in the series. She's a fledgling vampire and she has the gift of seeing visions and telling the future, and she sees tragedies before they happen and she can help stop them. So like to me, I do understand that, and I'm pretty sure I'll get the guidebook here in a second, but I can't remember if it talks a little bit about that in there. But even if not, I mean the guidebook gives you plenty of really good information to go off of. I also absolutely love this. So this is actually PC Cast. They included her in the deck, and also her daughter Kristen is in the deck, and I think Colette Baron Reed is in the deck, and she is Confidence, and she's, I cannot pronounce it right correctly, but Sketch. And she's another character in the series. On the Isle of Skye, they end up going there, and she's part of that. But I just love how they included her in there as well. Loyalty, meditation, a fledgling. See, they get this little crescent moon tattoo, and it's not filled in when they're a fledgling typically. When you become a vampire, it becomes, well, you've probably seen it on some of them, but oops. Oh, I'll show you on this one. When you're a fledgling, it's not filled in. When you become a full adult vampire, or if you're like Zoe Redbird, which this is Kristen. So in the series, Zoe Redbird is actually, PC Cast wrote her as like Kristen, like she used her as inspiration for the character. So I love that they have her in here. But when you become a full vampire, you get all the tattoos around your face and stuff too, but Zoe's special, so she gets extra markings and things. So anyways, there's the deck. And the guidebook, I do remember the guidebook being really insightful because it's like you're talking to the goddess. Like Zoe is really connected to her intuition, and she's marked by the goddess. Like she's very connected to her because she is drawn to like help stop some bad things that are about to happen and stuff. And so the whole purpose of this deck is to like have direct communication to the same goddess that like Zoe talks to in the series. The cool thing is though, is that Goddess Nyx is like, I just like how PC and Kristen really incorporate like a goddess that is in mythology and all of that today. So it's really cool. But you also learn how to conduct 1 card, 2 card, and 3 card readings in this deck. So use the oracle cards with this guidebook to communicate directly with the goddess Nyx. Okay, I really don't know how to pronounce it, sorry. And to receive the wisdom she has chosen for you. So like if we pulled one and it says, okay, so like 18, forbidden. So you've got a card representation, and then you have a little message right here, and then it talks more right here about it. As your goddess, I am sending you this warning. You are about to enter into a situation that will not be easy and could cause you or others pain. Not all doorways are meant to be opened. Not all relationships are good for you. Not all love is expressed, and not all desires are realized. Right now, I am saying no to you. The symbol for forbidden also reminds you that although you may feel pain when someone rejects you, this is one of my ways of protecting you. I may whisper in someone's ear to stay away. It is for the best, even if you don't believe it right now. This is not a symbol, this is a symbol to move on, choose another path. So it's really neat. I like that you get just a simple, straightforward phrase right here, or message, and then she talks more right here. At the beginning, of course, you get like, oh, I also like that you have a guide with the cards so that way you can easily find the one you're looking for. She gives you the story of the Oracle of Nyx. You get the whole story here. You get the purpose of the cards, how to use the cards, how to ask questions. They give you sample questions you can ask right here, which is nice. But yeah, I really, now that I have it out and I haven't like worked with it, like I said, in quite a while, or a lot, I'm excited to really give it a true shot. So I just wanted to share that with you all. This is my very first deck. Like I said, I got it back in 2012 when it first came out. It's just kind of been hanging around, sitting around, kind of just waiting for the perfect time. And I think now's the time to really start working with her, and see what happens, especially since I'm, again, rereading the series. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I would love to know down below what your very first deck was. I'd like to know that. So if you'd like, go ahead and leave me a comment and tell me what your very first deck ever was. And I will catch you guys all in the next video. Thank you again so much for watching and for following along with me here on my journey. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.